What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video from the Scalar Learning channel on digital SAT math. We are continuing our series on Khan Academy math, going through every single topic. If you guys didn't get a chance yet, you should definitely check out the digital SAT math formula Bible. We released that on Friday. It's a huge video. It's got 34 formulas / principles that are essential to do well on the SAT. So make sure you check that out. It's on the main page, and put in a lot of work and a lot of time to that. But we got so much more coming out in the next few weeks. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Like this video if you do like what you see. And without further ado, let's get into it. We're moving forward in foundations level on exponential graphs. And I'm seeing these questions for the first time in real time, and we're going to teach by example. I'm going to go through and not only solve, but explain. Without further ado, here we go. All right, wait, let's make sure. Whoops, I might have to reload this. Give me 1 second. All right, there we go. Boom. All right. The graph of y equals 4 to the x minus 2 is shown in the xy plane. Which of the following characteristics of the graph is displayed as a constant or coefficient? Okay. Before we even look at the answer choices, here's what I'm going to say is there's only two constants, right? There's a 4 and there's a -2. Now, the 4, it doesn't exactly show itself on the graph, right? So it says which characters of the graph shows itself. But this -2 does show up because you can see it right here on the y-axis. That is the asymptote. And that's usually the case, right? If I have like 2 to the x plus 1, that 1 will be that horizontal asymptote. So that's the constant that we can see. And now let's scroll down and see, look for that answer choice. Okay, so I would not say x-intercept, which looks like 1/2. Would not say y-intercept, which is -1. We don't see -1 there. Would not say slope because it's not a constant slope. And then it says the value y approaches as x decreases, aka asymptote. Now, do I think you're going to see a question actually like this on the digital SAT? No. Again, this is one of the points where Khan Academy diverges a little bit from the actual style and nature of true digital SAT questions. You get a much better idea if you look at our digital SAT practice test videos. But anyways, it should be D. D is the winner. Boom, done. Here we go. The graph of f of x equals blah, blah, blah for x is greater than or equal to 0. What is the initial value of the function? All right, so this is a really important one to know, because when we're talking about initial for any exponential, it's always this value, that value in front, meaning what our typical format for an exponential is a times b to the x. And whatever the constant is out here that's not being raised to an exponent, that's our initial value. You can also see that right here, the initial value is the function value when x is equal to 0. So you can see that it's 10, aka y-intercept of 10. All right, now let's scroll down and look at the answer choices. And there we go. We got D is 10. Boom, done. Here we go. Number 3. The graph of y equals 8 times 0.5 to the x over 3 is shown in the xy plane. Which of the following characteristics of the graph is displayed as a constant coefficient in the equation? All right, so I'm gonna get it's gonna be y-intercept again, which is 8, because 8 is the y-intercept right there. That's the only constant or coefficient. 0.5 is sort of what's basically determining the shape, but that doesn't really show up exactly there. Slope, we can't say slope. It's not constant. Not the value of y. Not the value y approaches as x decreases. No, not the x-intercept, y-intercept. Boom. Okay, final question, question number 4. The graph of y equals 500 times 0.6 to the x is shown. Which of the following statements about the graph is true? Okay. As x increases, y decreases at an y increases at an increasing rate. This is false. Okay, like 100%, because increasing, if they were both increasing together, it should have a positive slope, not a negative slope. So A is definitely out. As x increases, wait, let me scroll down. As x increases, y increases at a decreasing rate. Wrong, because y is not even increasing, right? So as x increases, y is decreasing. All right, as x increases, y decreases at an increasing rate. So this is almost correct. The reason why I would say it's not correct is because it's not decreasing at an increasing rate. So the wording is weird, actually. I don't really like that. But you notice, like, from the initial value, let's say in the span of 1, right? It's going from 500 to 300. So that's dropping by 200. Then from 1 to 2, it's dropping by, like, I don't know, 125. Then it's dropping by like 75. So actually, the rate at which it's decreasing is decreasing, if that makes sense, right? It's not, the slope is not getting steeper as we go to the right. All right. So let's see. It's probably option D. Let me just read the wording. As x increases, y decreases at a decreasing rate. The only thing is like the wording is so weird. Again, you're not going to see this type of wording on the real SAT, but when it's saying y decreases at a decreasing rate, ooh, hold on, let me think about that for a second, because technically it's getting less negative. So wait, it's technically increasing. I don't think that's what they mean though. I think they mean that D is indeed the answer. Wait, let me read this one more time. As x increases, y decreases at an increasing rate. I'm going to go with D because D makes the most sense to me. Let's see. Yeah. Again, I kind of picked that because I believe that's what they wanted you to pick, but it's weird. It's not, again, I don't think this is going to show up on the SAT. Let's read their explanation. Since the graph has a steeper slope, yeah, so this is kind of what I explained. Since the graph has a steeper slope on the left and on the right, the rate at which y changes also decreases. But then you could argue the flip side that the slope is getting less negative. So technically, the rate of change is increasing. But I figured that's what they meant. All right. Anyways, that was that last question was kind of weird, but I hope the rest of the principles made a lot of sense. So again, exponential, right? Kind of like quadratic, not a constant slope. It's the slope is changing. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. And if you do like this video, make sure to click that like button. If you want to see more from the Scalar Learning channel, make sure to click subscribe. And if you want to check out the best resource on the planet to prepare for the digital SAT, check out the SAT crash course. The link is in the description below. You can use the code SCALAR, all caps, SCALAR, for 20% off. I encourage you to do so. And on those practice tests, you'll see my video explanations custom made just for you guys. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I'll see you in the next video.